It kills me to say this, Arsenal fans, but it's always a joy and a pleasure to watch my football club. And respectfully to the opponents that we're going to play tomorrow, I can't say I care beyond the fact that I'm going to watch it and I love Arsenal. I don't care about the Kairat game. All my attention, and I rarely say this, my subscribers and long term supporters and part of the DG Nation family will attest to this. I rarely say that. My attention's on Saturday against Leeds, people. You know, again, I've been calling them the Real United and a serious helping of humble pie. But yeah, get through the game with no injuries, rest the whole team, make sure you get 3 points against Leeds, go on a run, and let this Manchester United game be a bad memory in it. And hopefully we're crying in January and we're celebrating in May. Don't forget to smash the like button, people. It will be a slightly shorter live stream than usual just because your boy's on the move, man. But yeah, we're going to go over Mikel Arteta's press conference. You know, he's spoken apparently about Saliba and Timber. As I said, tomorrow might matter to you. It don't matter to me. Saturday's everything. And it's been 5 years of Odegaard. He's been linked with a move away from Arsenal. I can't say any of us quite believe that the rumors around Julian Alvarez or Odegaard, but it makes for good conversation. So yeah, man. Most importantly, I hope everyone's well and safe. I hope you're all blessed. Sadiq, appreciate you. As the man has said, please smash the like button, people. Boy, when it rains, it pours. It's not that I don't care about tomorrow. I care to see a fully rotated side with maybe Salmon getting a start, MLS in midfield. I care about things away from the result. You've articulated it a lot better than I would, people, and it leads me to share my screen because this is my lineup for tomorrow, people, if I'm completely honest. I know we're kind of, I don't want to say we're down to our bare bones, but it's not realistic to name a rotated side and just think all of them are going to get 90 minutes, people. So for me, just go out there and do that, man, if I'm completely honest. And boy, I got a bone to pick with you. You still don't believe Arsenal are their own worst enemies. And I would just refer you to the first half against Manchester City versus the second. I would refer you to the Sunderland game, to the Aston Villa at home and away, to Brighton, whether we won or lost. You know, if you don't need any other help, to know what I'm referring to, look how the whole Man United game panned out and actually Liverpool at the Emirates. But for me, and I don't know if you lot can see too well, people, again, you know, I care about you. So let's zoom in a bit. Oh, too much there. Kepa, can't say I'm going to see you or want to see you in the Champions League respectfully beyond this. But Kepa, Hincapié, Miles Lewis-Skelly, Benjamin White goes centre half for me. I wouldn't mind if Maoli Salmon goes there, but I think it's a good test now for him to learn his apprenticeship at right back. And maybe that's an angle there. For me, if I did care about something with Kairat, they got that guy that they bought. Well, Chelsea bought in it, and when he's 18 or whatever, he's going to go over there. Seems like he's all the range, been doing the business for them. Want to see what he's about. Norgard for me being the six, Odegaard and Eze. We ain't got no other midfielders in it, so you might no pressure on Odegaard. He'll probably ball out. You'll probably see this in it, people. You know, you're not going to see Odegaard on the right. And there's this clip doing the rounds on social media. It's probably for another stream. I don't really, to be fair with Odegaard, I don't know what people are talking about. But for me, Kepa, Hincapié, White, Salmon, Miles Lewis-Skelly, Norgard, Eze, Odegaard, Noni Madueke, Martinelli off the left. I'd start Gyökeres. I wouldn't even, you know, oh, well, you can't call on Marino and Super. You can't call on Marino and you can't call on Rice. They're suspended. If I could, I'd start Havertz up front. I don't think that's realistic. I'd love to see him get some minutes. To be honest with you, just because I want Gyökeres against Leeds away, you could even start Gabriel Jesus. I'm struggling to care beyond the fact that I support Arsenal, beyond the fact that we want to win, beyond the fact of people will tell us if we win, it's neither here nor there. But after losing to Man United, you lose to Kairat. You already know what the media does, and it's just going to add fuel to the fire. So I care with those sort of things, man. Pardon me, it's a good time to get a knock. Never a good time. If they're back for the Chelsea game, we move. Nothing more to do. We should be good enough against Kairat and Leeds without Timber and Saliba. Anyways, well, shoulda, woulda, coulda. You know, I think I need my best players. And to be fair, when it's all said and done with Timber and Saliba, well, they're two of the players I can kind of count on. And Mikel Arteta, I understand we're playing low blocks. I understand the system and all of those things. But in my opinion, when you've got two fullbacks who are promoted to Gallivant, by all means, make central runs or running behind, run into the opponent's box. I don't think we get enough in general from our midfield on the ball. Obviously, we clearly have because we've scored goals this season. We've gone from our goalie all the way up the field. But I think there needs to be more runners, more penetration in central areas. I don't think the creative burden should just purely be on any inverted fullback or just Martin Ødegaard, even though he's not doing the business. Creativity has to come in abundance. And, you know, 9 times out of 10, I'm moving the lineup a bit, people, and we won't put the opponents. But this is, if you don't know what I'm referring to, 9 times out of 10, yeah, the whole point of me, come off the pitch for a sec. you typically have inverted guys in it. Now, I know they have to hug the touchline and all of those things at times, but you want them in the half spaces. You do want your fullbacks overlapping and just taking men with them so that these lot, more so Saka, clearly can be inside. But that's neither here nor there. That's just a throwaway comment, just so if you visually were struggling to understand what I was waffling about. Salmon, go right back for me. Wouldn't mind if you got minutes at centre half, but I just think it's a good test for you. For you, it might as well be a Champions League final, be the most important game you've played in your short career so far. So apart from hopefully some Highlanders get some minutes, no injuries, minutes in the legs for others, wanting to win for winning's sake, you know, the journalists who, and again, big up all the journalists, and we'll get onto it, but we'll get onto it. Somebody remind me, just say, what was you going to speak about? Because you know me, once my head is hot, we go left with it, man. It's going to be a bumpy road to the PL title. I still believe we'll win it. I liked Arteta's press conference answer, basically said to the squad that we have an unbelievable opportunity and we have to rise and take it. Enjoy football on the way. Great way to take pressure from the squad and remind them what is at stake and what they can gain. I hear that. I disagree in that there you cannot escape any pressure. These you either manage in Mikel Arteta's case, you manage Arsenal Football Club. You lot play for Arsenal Football Club. You know what we've been fighting for the last 3 years. We know every game we win, it's all amazing. We lose, everybody's on us. The truth is in the middle. The truth is in the middle in that the Man United game, I would say, frustrates me and a lot of Arsenal fans beyond the fact that we lost, beyond the fact that we dropped points from winning positions, because we're talking about the same things. The in-game management, the ability to pivot, kind of the plan A's got us. There's times we need to pivot away from that. Defense wins titles, and we've got a title winning defense in all but name, as dumb as that sounds. We don't create the goals, and I'm sorry. Whatever I think about Martin Ødegaard, Bukayo Saka, Noni Madueke, Martinelli, Eze, Trossard, Gyökeres, Kai Havertz, Jesus, I'm sorry, but if you park a couple of these players at other clubs, they look better in a different light. These are not scrubs. Like, whether you rate them or not, simply put, we should be getting a lot more out of ourselves in an attacking sense. But granted, it's not going to be perfect. There's going to be many slips and whatnot. I do think there's a section of Arsenal fans that are on this "I told you so," just waiting for the team to take an L, so they're on it. I do think there's some fans that they think they're holier than thou and they want to hide behind. I'm not saying Boy or Sadiq, by the way. They want to hide behind these unnecessary stats like, oh, it's only our third loss and this and that. And it's true, but that just tells me the same thing. We've been a good team. We need to now be a great team. And again, every defeat you would say is avoidable. If we could go back in time, we'd do differently. But I've had a hard time accepting our defeats in the Premier League this season, because I do think we've self-capitulated. I do think we've shot ourselves in the foot. I do think there's been, like, football's a 90-minute game. You know, we've been good for 20 here and there. Whether we've won, lost or drawn, I believe that you could say that with United, where we lost, Liverpool, where we drew, Villa, where we smoked them in the first at the Emirates. You could even talk about the defeat. You could talk about the draw at Sunderland. And these things happen, people. I thought, for me, I've been saying I'm not taking too much stock in any points gap, whether it's 1 million points, whether it's 7 points, whether it's 4, whether that lead gets cut even more, God forbid. But if we slip up against Leeds, who are in a different kind of moment and got their little form, I'm only interested that in March. I think if we audit the performances, everything takes shape. Nottingham Forest comes to mind. This is what I mean by we can either be our best friends or our worst enemies. Now, the United game. And there'll be, FYI, keep saying every week, Villa, City, us, everybody is going to drop points. We can either take the lessons and move forward, or life is going to keep repeating itself. And for me, I think for me, my frustration with the United game is everything I feel like I'm talking about week in, week out. But yeah, man, Nathan, big up yourself, man. Bro, not even Xmas lunch compared to the humble pie United served up. We're full for years. I'm vexed we let the pagans win. You're not alone, bro. You're not alone, my boy. You're not alone, man. A man said, DG, the politician, doesn't even know where the next victory is coming from. He's clueless. His time's up. Arguably, he's on borrowed time. He just needs to go and get the 3 points against Leeds. Needs to win tomorrow and make sure, because you win the league or you win some silverware, really. I don't necessarily subscribe to the logic that Arteta is going to get sacked if we don't. I'm not saying I believe this is the case, but I don't think he's going to walk away or get the clip if he doesn't win the league. Obviously, if you collapse and we finish 20 points behind City, but as long as you're near enough there, as long as there's a decent showing in the Champions League, not necessarily winning it, I don't think you're going to get that. I don't think internally at Arsenal, the noise that, you see the outside noise, like Arteta has to get over the line, all that stuff, I don't think that's shared internally. I don't. You've got all of these players to sign new deals. You've just brought in Berta. Mikel Arteta has been given a lot of responsibility. They've got a lot of stability. I don't think that we're not that club that's going to cut stuff. Stranger things have happened. There has to be an element of pressure, and we need to get over the line. And Gaffer, I do think Arteta, tactically, there's a lot to admire. I do think you're a good manager. I do think you've shown me you can compete against some of the best managers in this country or elsewhere. There's a lot to admire. I think you've made a lot of mistakes. Who hasn't? I also think you've done a lot of good things. I think you've shown big bollocks to take this job and get us to this journey. But I don't care about yesterday. Yesterday's achievements don't pay today's rent. We were 14. He was a good player. The system moved away. Tomiyasu the same. It's looking like it's getting away from Odegaard. So on and so forth. That has to be afforded to the manager. In the same way, you know, Arsene Wenger paid off the Emirates. You've come in, you put a bit of life back into the club during this Emirates era. I hope you're the guy to get over the line, but you might have been the guy to just steady the ship even more. And the next one comes in. Yes, we could get better with the next guy. Yes, we could get worse. But in the pursuit of trophies, until we do what needs to be done, I'm on anything. Because one thing's for sure, we cannot keep doing the same thing and expecting different results. But yeah, man, it is what it is. And to be even honest, I know old habits die hard, but breaking down low blocks, a lot we said about the attacking play, pivoting away from tactics, some of the talking points around the players, but the manager, we didn't start saying this season. We said it last year. We might even said the same things in the previous year, and I said it yesterday. I think I'm quite a fair person. I think a lot of Arsenal fans, or a lot of football fans, they think pre-season, and keyword pre-season, because we need to go in chronological order. I think they look at pre-season, water break. I think they look at pre-season as this magical place. You go off for a week or 2 weeks or whatever, and you go on your tours and all the things you need to improve in the previous year. The Premier League starts and you're lit. That's not how life or football works. That's why I always say, I believe for, tactics and all the fruits of the labor you did in pre-season coming into plays, players' fitness, all of those kind of things. I would say from game week 1 to game week 10, it's not that you've got a free hit, but me personally, I cut you a bit of leeway. From game week 10, is where the season starts. And as I said yesterday, from game week 10 to December, end of December, I think you lot did your job. There was a lot of stumbles along the way. I'm still vexed about Arteta's second half at Anfield and the players in the first. Arteta in the first, well, the whole club, Arteta and the players, the first and second half, direct contrast at Manchester City. And we were chasing the lead. Maybe that's why we was a bit fearless. Newcastle, for me, is still the most standout game. But granted, and we all know, our defenders have been carrying the team. The attackers, apart from Trossard, no one's really shown sustained form. The players need to pull their finger out because you lot are far too good enough to not have an amount of goals. But at the same time, to relate it back to the manager, there's too much talking points about all of these attackers for it to just be them. At the end of the day, Arteta's responsible in it. If the attackers are not firing as a collective unit, and this is something based on last season and the season before, the gaffer has to be responsible. It has to be, because you cannot tell me if you got Sesko or you slap Isaac or you get this, even if we got Semenyo on the left wing like I wanted, that all my attacking problems have gone away. It's not as white and black as that. And ignorance is bliss. Cool. December, you did what you needed to do. As I said, there's been stumbles. You can't win them all. There's also been some great moments. For me, I've been the happiest about my club, Newcastle away, probably in Europe. Bang, that brings us to the end of January, where, cool, you've had a bit of a wobble. I'm vexed at you lot about Forest. Audit the performance. I'm pissed off with you lot about Liverpool at the Emirates. Audit the performance. I'm definitely pissed off with everybody, including myself and United fans, with the last performance. But cool, you're still in task to do what you need to do. Now, again, from what we saw last season, breaking down low blocks, all the things we needed to improve, I don't think it's evident to us armchair experts that we've improved that. I feel like our club individually and collectively, whether we're looking at the system or the players, there's too much magnifying glass, which you have to do, but it should be evident. Now we're in January. Well, we're approaching February. Now I need to see a lot. Every one of you players, it needs to go up a level. All of you attackers, you've been carried. It's now time to go up a level. Mikel Arteta, I don't want to keep talking about the same things. And if I am going to talk about the same things and have these frustrations week in, week out, make sure we get a trophy in it, because then it is what it is. So, yeah, man, it is what it is. City lost to United, then Bodo need to bounce back as soon as possible. What's up with Saliba and Timber? How long, or is it just being exaggerated? We'll look at that in just a sec, man. But cool, man. I'm enjoying you lot's conversations. Bro, if we lose to Kairat and Arteta's named the strong side with Rice and Saka, it's going to be long. Boy, he's going to have to, listen, manager has to live or die by these decisions. Either the pressure doesn't affect you or you must manage it. Any player that's scared, better effing say so that we can make a plan. Boy, that's what I'm on. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to have fear, You should have fear. Only the paranoid survive. The problem in life comes when you see fear at your door or fear inevitably in your face and you succumb to it. Run towards it. As much as football means the world to me, man should be fearless. As I said on TalkSport, as I say all the time, they call us bottlers. They say we can never do it. That should lift you, because what's the worst they could say? The same things that they've said already. That's it. Go out and you know what you need to do. Go out and get there. And Arteta, there's going to be stumbles. Players, there's going to be stumbles. As much as I'm an Arsenal fan, it will pay me. Some of you look, because I don't know where you look left and right if we don't do what needs to be done this season. I can't tell you lot were all in the dressing room last game of the season in the last couple of years, or when we went out of competitions, and everybody that's played football, you know how deafening you could hear probably a pin drop in the whole stadium. I don't want you lot to be in that situation, but only you lot can save yourselves, you know. It's down to you lot to do what needs to be done. And anyone that can't handle the pressure, broski, honest to God, just do the right thing and don't play in it. Anybody, coaching staff, whatever, handle it. And even that, I'm sorry, yeah, but a lot of these journalists are talking a lot of nonsense about fans. Do I agree with necessarily booing the players against Man United? No, I don't. But also fans are allowed to say what they want, what they feel, people. And if we're really talking about standards and stuff, then man shouldn't be happy about the Man United result. I think a lot of the boos are not coming because you lost to Man United. Obviously it is, but not because of that. Because we're talking about the same lack of attacking play and all of these things. It's not necessarily that you lost, it's how you lost. Obviously, there's other things unrelated that we need to do better. I think it's jarring. And we all know in life, the match day fans are the last ones to kind of clock on. Let's be real. Half of these journalists, they're not even really in the stadium like that. And if they are, they're still not really in the stadium like that. They're in something, you know, they're in the press box. You get fed some nice meals and things of that ilk. Stop trying to police people's opinion. There's millions of people supporting this club in all different countries. There's people paying thousands of quid to go and watch that game. And if we really talk about the standards, then it's not good enough, is it? Undoubtedly, it's not good enough. You can't sit at the big boy table and not want to be held to big boy standards. And this is all coming from a place of love because we're all in this together. But old habits want to die hard, man. Man just want to do this happy clapping bullshit, if I'm honest with you. But before I get frustrated, let's just keep going, man. In everyday life, you got to see a problem before it becomes a problem, plain and simple. On God, if Odegaard is spooked that we're top of tables and about to make a final, he better talk now to Arteta in Spanish. Get me Brahim Diaz. I'm ready for anything, boy. Man said I called myself Deluded DJ. I be respectful in the chat, please. Not to that comment I just read. Be respectful, man. DG, did you see they are blaming Arsenal for City, Liverpool, United, Chelsea being shit? Bro, one thing I think us Arsenal fans could do, yeah. And I know every fan base will say this, but one thing I think some Arsenal fans could do, yeah. Just stop listening to a lot of these guys. I think, you know what, I want to pick my words wisely, but I think there's a lot of softness, and I hate to use that word. There's a lot of softness from our fans. There's a lot of softness from the players. There's a lot of softness. We're 90% there, you know. But you see that 10%, that might as well be 100%. I don't care how good you think you are, because ultimately, in the last 3 years, being good has not got us over the line. So what's the logical step? We need to be great. Obviously, what you're good at as a football club, take it to the next level. Evident areas of improvement, go and pattern it. And I know you're trying. Whether you're going about it the right way, I'm not at London Coley. Like, none of the players are going out there to F up on purpose. Mikel Arteta, you're not going out there to make us lose games. But maybe we need to change course. As a Man U fan, you're top of the league, 4 points ahead and still depressed. I wouldn't say depressed, but I think a lot of fans are emotional. For me, I think I've been quite consistent. The points tally is irrelevant to me. Obviously, we've got the points on the board. You're not going to catch me complaining about that. But at some point, you're going to get a bit on the arse. And I'm not even talking about set pieces and all of that. I've actually said all season, I think we previously in the last 3 years, this would be the fourth since we've been fighting for a title. Maybe not so much the first year we fought, but in the last couple of years, I would say we're a great defensive side. I still think we're up there, potentially the best in Europe. But compared to what we was, I think we're here. So if this is great, we're good. You're now seeing it. Get back to those standards. I don't know what it is in the final third. I don't know. I really don't know. But something's got to be addressed there. Or you're going to see a next left winger, a next striker do something. And I think a lot of players got to pull it out. I feel there's obvious. I'm not even onto Arteta for playing favourites. Every manager under the sun has favourites. But you see, when you're not doing the job, something needs to change. Everybody knows for a vast majority of the season, I was screaming Jurrien. Ironically, when he's done the business against Inter, he's done it against Chelsea. And I defo said, against Man United, I was on Marino up front. I think Odegaard has to come out the side. I'll be honest. Maybe you need saving from yourself. You need to come out the side. When the captain's armband isn't anything. And obviously, a part of me thinks, I just wish Wenger could have tried veto that long, because maybe one year he could get an opportunity. You know, Eze ain't set the world alight, but we could go with that. He needs to be given at least an extended kind of opportunity. And even this, for me, Mikel Arteta, it is what it is, but I think it's you. I think it's you. I think you've got us here, but I think it's down to you because you've shown me we can play attacking football in Europe and many a stage this season. You've shown me you can put the handbrake down. Ultimately, I don't know what's going on. I actually like the fact that we'll push you into your own half. We'll do all of that kind of stuff, but it feels a bit too methodical. It feels a bit too predictable. I'm not against that, but there's time. We all love football, regardless of what team you support, because of tactics and shit, but because of moments. You said you're a Man United fan. There's best goal you've seen Man United score. There's some memories flushing back. The same with Arsenal, like volleys and free kicks and great attacking play, things you can't account for, things you didn't necessarily think were going to happen on the day. No matter how much we do the data analysis and the number crunching and we like think about everything that could be done on a football pitch, I think we need to keep that. But football is a bit unpredictable. And I do think a game like Man United, for example, someone like Wanyeri off the bench, cool, he don't play into your hands tactically, whatever you're trying to do. But games that are becoming a bit illogical, someone like him is an ace up your pack. Eze the same. Eze should be looking like this. And then you're taking players out of sorts and expecting miracles. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. Big up yourself, DG, as well, man. Timber, Saliba, minor niggles being rested. The last world-class attacker we bought was Aubameyang, yet he's talking about the right profile for 10 transfer windows. No great teams in the PL this season. Can see the winners of the PL having 6 or 7 defeats and still win the title. Bro, if that's us, I don't care. I don't care about this logic about Rio Ferdinand where we're lucky everyone else is worse, because I heard that when Liverpool won the title. I actually heard that when City were running away with it. And even though we haven't got over the line, I've heard that before. I don't give a monkeys about whether if we did win it, we're the worst title holders. I don't care, bro. The goalposts are gonna move. We finally win a Premier League trophy. If we do that, it's taking Arteta 6 years or 4. If you're really honest, 4 years. We win our first champs. If we do that, it's the first of your season. The goalposts always move. So this is why I do think some fans are on this happy clapping thing. I do think some fans are soft, and I do think some fans need to realize that if you're not part of this Arsenal team, fuck them. Pardon my language. And that's how every club should move. But just the way it is, man. There's no real other way to slice losing to United at the Emirates. But and the one thing I would say, there's been times where sometimes we've seen this season, sometimes you win when you don't quote unquote deserve to win. You lose when you don't quote unquote deserve to lose. You draw when you deserve less or more from a game. And then you also get what you deserve, which I think was against Man United. It's not, again, I feel like I'm seeing the same things. First half an hour, you came out, you had them penned in their own half, you had 1-2 chances, whatever. For some reason, the worst thing I think happened in the game, as dumb as it is you went and scored first. Because I think even if we went a goal down into half time, I don't think we would have lost it. But we got mad complacent, and I've seen that before. Is that with the gaffer? Is that with the players? A team's a reflection of the manager, so he's got to hold that. But I actually am very critical on my footballers, man, because again, sometimes I remember he said it against Aston Villa, he said it against Wolves, where Arteta does the diplomatic thing. He very rarely kind of draws out his players, but he kept saying, "Why are you not sitting back?" The best footballers manage themselves and regulate. No matter how much the game has changed and it's a chess match, and the individuals we all know will always make a game, but it's never been more systemic than it is now, innit? Every manager every manager's got their systems and whatnot. Players need to start managing themselves, because it's coming like the most inexperienced, the youngest players. They're looking like the veterans. I need to see more. You're all grown enough, ugly enough, been in this Arsenal, you're playing for Arsenal, which is a privilege, an absolute privilege. And you lot have come so far. Buzzing that you lot, okay, this year's been a bit of a madness, but in the last 3 years or so, the top 6 games used to be a write-off. You're doing all right in that. Cool, we didn't win the Champions League. Ha, ha, ha. You're moving to Real Madrid. You're beating Bayern Munich. You're going San Siro and doing something. Them moments felt great. What do you think it will feel like if you win silverware again and again and again? And I feel sorry for you lot, because I know you lot care. But the best thing you lot can do is talk with your feet. And I'm sorry, it's not good enough. It's not. From the gaffer, from everybody, it's not good enough. I don't care if we're top. I don't care if it was 7 or 4 points. Don't sit here and insult my intelligence. Whether we win, lose, or draw, we're talking about the same fucking things. So you lot fix up. Damn, DG, you better go coach, manage Arsenal. You know a lot more about the squad and have a better philosophy. Never, man. I'm just an armchair expert. But this is it. I can't say, maybe if I sat down with Arteta and he would tell me why certain things happen. But hey, you're the guy that came here with no inexperience, got us into these conversations. You're the one that gets 15 million a year. You're the one, rightly so. We should get a lot of praise for how we set up tactically and all that football stuff. The only thing and the biggest thing I keep saying with Arteta, and I know you've won trophies before someone beats dumb at Arsenal Football Club. Bearing in mind, you've seen what it takes to win a trophy at City and all those things. My only thing is, I like you, but I like my club more, you know. I love my club. I don't love no man or woman connected to this Arsenal thing more than myself. When I die, scatter my ashes across the Emirates so I can watch us for life. The only thing I can say with you, Arteta, is, are you a winner? That's it. I'm the first to waffle about the tactics and this and that. And even for me as well, one thing that made me rate your thing a bit more is, obviously, I'm a fan in it. But when you rubbed out Pepe, when you rubbed out Aubameyang, when you got rid of Guendouzi, when you didn't want to play Torreira, when you rubbed out Ozil, when you did the inverted thing with Zinchenko, not obviously, I'd rather Tini left back, but you got rid of Tini. There was, you know, Ramsdale even. Like, I remember that summer, that was the last thing we was talking about a goalie. I'm sure he was in PFA team of the year or whatever. Ramsdale weren't perfect, but goalie was the last position we're talking about. You went and brought Raya, who you wanted before Ramsdale. So you showed me, you've got mad foresight in it. You're seeing things before it makes sense. There's so many things I could praise you about. We've never been more closer to winning. And I know there's been in the early days at the Emirates, you know, so William Gallas sulking at Birmingham and whatnot. You've never been more close to getting over the line. I don't necessarily, you don't know I want the Champions League. I don't necessarily think we can win it, but it's never been more realistic than arguably in the last couple of years. And even the last 2 years, excluding now because it's still on playing, there's been year and year improvement. You flirted with the Premier League. Players, get it done. Because it's at the end of the day, I'm going to get bantered as an Arsenal fan and whatever, and it is going to kill me, but life goes on. Some of you, lot, if you don't win what needs to be won here, you're not going to win silverware. And tomorrow's not promised. We don't know what tomorrow brings. God forbid, but we could fall off a cliff tomorrow. And I know it's unrealistic and it hasn't happened, but nobody can sit here and tell me in these last 3 years we couldn't have won a Prem, one of these titles, whatever way we shape it, for whatever reason, we could have got one of them, maybe even retained, dream chasing, maybe even done a 3-peat, maybe even done a thing in the champs. Therefore, could have picked up some FA Cups and all of those kind of things. We're in 4 bits of silverware. We're 4 points ahead, which means nothing in January. But for all the bitching I've just done in this 27 minutes, we're still in the top. We're still in the champs, which I'm not getting too excited because for me, I'm more comfortable with Arsenal in the Champions League because I don't know what it is. It's like we up our game. Maybe it's the way other teams play. It just feels like we could do a thing. I'm more in the Prem and the champs. I'm more looking at you lot. For the gaffer, it's more the champs. When things go left, do you have an ability to pivot? Premier League, are we going to learn from our mistakes? We're still in the FA Cup. We're still in the League Cup. There's 4 opportunities. You're telling me you can't bring one home? Well, I wouldn't mind Luis Enrique if Arteta. Yeah, man. Stop hyping the win against us, bro. What do you mean? They've said it several times, Foxy. They've said it several times. They said it against Liverpool. They said it against United. They said it against Villa twice. They've said it Liverpool twice. They said it against Newcastle, and it's not going to stop. They even said it against Chelsea. This is the biggest game of the calendar. We have to win. If we lose, we're out the title race. Is it fair to say Newcastle is considered one of the most difficult away grounds? Is it fair to say that we've struggled against Eddie Howe and Arteta with Arteta? 100%. So nobody's going to downplay that. If you lot were shit, that's your business, bro. The better teams win at St. James's Park. That's good for them. I support Arsenal. We went over there and won. It was one of our best performances across 90 minutes. We can do the banter thing or we can chat shit. What am I telling me? Am I mad? That, the second half against City, which again we drew and we had to chase the game because we could see the dumb goal. These are the margins I'm talking about. If you want to be a good team, no one has to do anything else, you know. No one has to do anything. And not that the players watch me, but you know, if you just want to be a good team, we've got it. It's great. You have some good days out. The fans can sing songs. You see, if you just want to be a good team, no one has to improve a damn thing. But you see, if you want to be a great team, you see, if you want to go down in history, you see, if you want to forget defeat in the world, you see, if you want to defeat yourselves, because there must be that voice in the back of your heads. Can you do it? Can't you do it? You see, if you want that, you see, if you want the reality that we all want in May, this is now what I'm referring to. I hear it with Odegaard not being a physical player, Sadiq, but come on, man. If you're not going to, if you just win one of the shoulder barges, and if you're not able to do that, influence the game. To a degree, I think there's an attacking tax on every one of our attacking players and just in general. But got to pull it out, bro. You're big enough, old enough, ugly enough. And as much as football means the world to me, go out and enjoy it, bro. It's a game of football. You know, before like your career's going to go like that. How much of a privilege it is to be a footballer, full stop. Go out and do it. Just shut up with the noise. They didn't rate you before. They didn't rate you again. Do you know how many fluctuated opinions they've been on? And I'm not saying it's wrong. On the manager, on several players, on the whole journey. Because people the conversation has shifted. You know, remember when Ramsdale and Ben White came in, it was, we don't know why they're buying them, what's going on. The club don't really know the direction. It's not quite said that now. So when it weren't cool to rate Arsenal, none of you listened. So when it's all positive, don't listen. When you win, you're not as good as you think you are. When you lose, you're not as bad as you think you are. You lost the battle, go win the war. It's as simple as that, man. And don't think because I'm focusing this conversation on Arteta players, too many hot and cold dons. To a degree, there's certain, like Martinelli, you could do better, but I know you're hot and cold. Madueke, I like you. I knew decision making and not scoring was a problem. Gyökeres, I told you, look, we've got an evident striker that we could get some goals, but there's limitations. Odegaard, we know what we're talking about. Eze, I think your game is centered around risk, and Arteta at this moment is risk averse. You've got to meet each other halfway. There's a place to take risk and when to take risk, but ultimately there's risks. He's going to lose the ball and they're going to go down the other end and score, and that's said for everyone. But he might dribble past someone or do a madness. These are the things that you could see. Like, I think this has been pretty obvious from the start of the season, from last season, and everyone's on borrowed time. Why the F are we not buying anyone this winter? We should get Julian Alvarez, bro. We're dream chasing, man. If we can win this league with the youth and quality in our squad, we could create a decade of dominance with Arteta. Failing to win isn't just a failure for the present. I'll be wary about a decade of dominance, but I hear it, man. Appreciate you, man. Big up, Foxy. Make sure you're smashing the like button. Yeah, man, it's a shame for Doggy. It's unfortunate, like life, innit? It's like you're riding hand and you're shot down. He slapped it on us. Did he score against City? I don't know, but he had a good game. United are doing what they're doing. It's unfortunate, man. It's unfortunate, but unfortunately, it happens, innit? It absolutely happens, people. So, yeah, not to peel you lot off, people, but 5 years of Martin Ødegaard. You're still the class region, man. Odegaard, remember yourself, man. Fix up, please, man. Okay, maybe not so much that. So I know he's in a different moment, but this picture has to make you smile, Arsenal fans, man. I made me cry. Big up about me and Saka and Smith Rowe, man. That's funny how life works. Remember who you are, Odegaard, man. Look what you're doing. I've even seen you do it in the champs. Come on, Martin, man. Is there logic with putting him on the left? I don't think he's strong enough at times deeper in midfield, but I do get a bit peed up, and I understand it. Like, there's a clip going viral, where I actually think people don't understand ball, because against United, the ball's come into him, he's checked backwards. That's not the problem. I understand if people are saying roll it in, but let the ball roll across your body and then bang, you're in the center space. But then if you preempt that and if you stop and freeze phase and look at all of the other players, where he played that ball, it's still going to go over there. The bigger problem is, he could have done that, but it's all fun and games gallivanting forward with the ball. What's going on? Where's the options? We should be using Declan Rice to drive a lot more. And that man, decision-making needs to be a bit better. You should have played Trossard in. Creativity has to come in abundance. Of course, if a man's at 8.5 to 10, it's going to be on him. But what happens when he has a shit game? What if everything was perfect in an attacking sense? Boom, we play Man United. Odegaard, for argument's sake, stinking up the place. Inverted left back ain't saying nothing. What else is going on? Our first attacker is David Raya. Why the hell do we care if he's good with his feet? Our first defender is our forwards and Odegaard. Why do we care about the pressing? Don't tell you what to think. Just think, Like, honestly, sometimes people don't think. And that's where it's starting to get a bit unbearable, man. This is where it's starting to get a bit unbearable. DG killed yesterday with the edits. Never hide the front line. It's out here. I ain't dead. You think I won't be back on Rants with stream chatting shit about Man United? First time the gun jammed. Watch. When I have my time, all I would say is all of you lot in my DMs, all of you lot in my mentions, all of you lot making these vids, I just want same energy. By all means, kill me. Because this is the worst we're going to get. Enjoy it. We need Calafiori back, but, bro. Evening, DG. Hope you're well, brother. What is the extent of Saliba and Timber injuries? Well, sometimes football rarely loves you back, bro. Football is toxic in itself, man. It is. But we have to move. I saw this tweet from James Baines. Can only speak for myself, but these much vaunted boos at halftime or full time from the Emirates crowd seem to pass me by. Having said that, there was a patch of aggro between fans near the press box as some made their way out early. I don't agree with leaving early, but I don't agree with journalists and that trying to dictate football fans, because you lot are not living and breathing. And the one thing I would living and breathing the thing like us, you lot definitely will say things privately and then things publicly. I get it. You want to get interviews. You want to get books signed. You've got a cozy little gig at the Emirates. You all want to sit at the front and put your little recording device and listen to Mikel Arteta. This is all great, but don't deceive the public. Yeah, don't tell people. One thing I don't like in life, let alone football, you have no right to police opinions. I'm directing this at all these journalists, and I do think some fans are soft. I don't even necessarily think fans should. If fans are booing because, oh yeah, we're not going to win the league, I don't agree with that. If you're booing because you're tired of seeing the same things, I hear it. I don't want anyone to get booed, but football's a message. In the same way, nobody tells anyone to shut up when they're cheering, you know. And I'm not going to be funny. You footballers have shown me at this club that you haven't, in a good way, when it's all been rosy or it's all been bad, you haven't necessarily taken in what fans have said. Stop this happy clapping kumbaya stuff. Save that for Sunday League. This is professional football. And that goes to all clubs. But nonetheless, you can tell people that can do 10 kick-ups and those who can't. Guillaume Balaguer, this was a nice article. And I don't necessarily disagree, but I would say people can admire Arsenal and Arteta as much as they want. It's now about winning. Nonetheless, now that Arsenal fans are booing their own team and former players are lining up to criticize, former players are always also defending, and many an Arsenal fan is also defending. Let me offer the bigger picture, the one you hear across Europe. We know we're admired in Europe. If anything, we get more ratings outside of the Premier League. And not that I want ratings, but I do think there's a lot of honesty. You can call us bottlers, ask us why we don't get over the line, but you can also admire a lot of the tactics we do. This country is just clickbait, people chatting shit. We know that. I hear that. Anyways, Arsenal are not seen here as a team that has stalled. They are seen as a reference point. I get it in terms of what we've done with persisting with Arteta, defending, set pieces, you know, how we're moving with certain young players. I get it. That's not, nobody at Arsenal don't really like us. We do not care about that. Right now, man, I forget over the line, people. But yeah, they are seen as a reference points as a team many look at when trying to understand where elite football is heading. It's been us our whole life. The game has shifted. It is no longer enough to dominate the ball or to attack well. The top sides now compete in and often decide matches through the 4 phases that makes teams excellent. Organized attack. Our attack is organized, but it needs a bit of life. Attacking transition, defensive transition, and structural defense. That's every team. And it sounds great. And, you know, the jargon works. But when you actually break it down, what are you saying? You're just trying to get the word count. At the highest level, those phases matter more than possession percentages or aesthetic debates. This is where Arsenal stand out. Under Arteta, Arsenal control space, time, and another very important element, rhythm. But then we don't also, that's what I mean, we're our own biggest enemies. We don't up it. We kind of stick to the script, whether we're winning, losing, or drawing. They're aggressive without being chaotic. We need a bit of chaos. For me, I would love to ask Mikel Arteta, bro, look at Luis Enrique. Look at Luis Enrique. Sometimes the 6 is the furthest, the false 9's there, wingers are tracking back, there's inverted things going on, there's freedom within a framework. I think there is a framework and a structure. I don't think there's freedom within these guys. Nobody's going to convince me any different. Pep Guardiola, we know you're not Pep, but you look at how Haaland's not a him striker on paper. He's managed to make it work. You can get more, you could get something out of your options here. Fair enough, Cherky, Foden, these guys, they're not as hot as they were a few weeks ago. But you've seen them neat little 1-2s, bang. Why have we not got that? Do I think you've got the capacity to coach that? Yes. Do I think our players could do that in their own way? Yes. Why have we not got it? It's not for me to answer. But I'm never going to sit here and act like everything, like, I'm not going to act like I can't see what's in front of my eyes. So this sounds great and it's not wrong, but what are we saying here? What are we saying here? Their pressing is prepared in detail, lose the ball and their reaction is immediate. The opponent is denied oxygen. We love that. But again, you said percentages ain't enough. How many times have we dominated games or teams in everything that matters, but putting the ball in the back of the net and daylight between the sides? And then, in my opinion, we've lacked a bit of focus across 90 minutes in the Prem this season, which is why I always say we're our own best friends and worst enemies 9 times out of 10. But that's just me. Across Europe, this is understood as modern dominance. The key battleground today is transition. Now, what do you do with the ball? But what happens the instant you lose it? Defensive rhythm has overtaken offensive rhythm. Space is smaller and time is shorter. The teams that survive are the ones that arrive first, win duels plus reset order before danger appears. Arsenal do this as well as anyone. True. In Europe, Arsenal are seen as a team that has absorbed Guardiola's ideas and pushed them forward. They have strengthened them for a football world that now plays faster, presses harder, and totally punishes hesitation. At the moment, Arsenal are being questioned at home, and we lost 1 game at home. So I don't think it's the fact that we lost at home beyond the obvious. They are being analysed as a model. Progress is often uncomfortable, and it rarely moves in straight lines. Arsenal don't look lost. In my eyes, they look early. Early to what? And what did you say there? Progress doesn't happen in straight lines. That's something that we could take in regards. Progress is often uncomfortable. Now it's time to make uncomfortable decisions tactically, but maybe removing people out of sides, maybe making existing players change the way they're playing. Who knows though? But these youths have all the answers, man. All the answers. Big up Tom, love him to bits, but I disagree with what Arsenal fans did at full time after the Man United loss was wrong. I think everybody's allowed their opinions. I think, you know, people are paying money, you're G'ing them up. Whenever I'm not, again, yeah. I think they're geeing up the fans, they're geeing up the players. When they're doing all of that, people are not telling them to calm down. So it sounds good, but whatever, man. Jump on the fumble. Arteta urges fans, bro. Looking like it might capsize, mate. We took a moment to bring the temperature down, to pause and to reflect and ask questions. One is, how do we feel and how do I feel myself? And then, how are we going to live the next 4 months? And it's so encouraging and beautiful, because what came out of that is simple. I mean, we got no choice. Any player that wants to feel sorry for himself, or it's all done because you lost to Man United, regardless of how the season pans out. If we bottle everything, then we bottle everything. If we win everything, then we win everything. But if you're not prepared to go to war, if you're crying at this moment in time, you need to go, bro. You need to go. I'm not here to see nice guys. I'm here to win shit now. You lot have it in you. But I look like an idiot because you haven't done it. Go and prove the world wrong, man. But anyways, moving forward, people, what's Norgard said? It's been a fantastic experience for me so far this season. I would obviously love to play more minutes, but the minutes I've had so far, I've really enjoyed. Also, in the competition we're playing in tomorrow, I've had a few games, and for me, it's the first run in the champ, so it's been amazing. Even though I'm not playing as much, I still try to contribute with everything I can around the group. Big up to yourself for that. It's not easy. It's fantastic players, and it's honestly a joy coming in every day. You train with these players of this quality. But it's also a good feeling to see and feel like you're part of it. You can actually play on this level, and I've been confirming that this season. Now, it might not be anything to do with Norgard, yeah, but again, I'm just a novice fan. I didn't expect Norgard to be a regular, but in terms of seeing out games, injecting a bit of legs, and I did think he played more of a prominent role. So how much is he trusted? Because the man who left and he's at Villarreal, that was obviously the first thing we was trying to do, have him and Zubamendi. So how much is he really rated? And he's another one that, to a degree, I can't expect to come out the cold and you're just going to do bits. And I knew you was going to be, don't get twisted, I'm not saying you weren't going to be on the peripheral of things. I did think that. But in terms of being a tool in the toolbox, I did think you'd be a tool that would be used more, innit? Now it's just about being patient, being hardworking, and hopefully more chances will come. I had really good communications with the manager, and he's been really honest with me. I feel that he's happy with my role here. I think coming towards the end of the season, hopefully we also need the whole squad, and I'm sure I can play a role as well in the last part of the Champions League. My grandma collects all sorts of articles from different papers during the year. It's fantastic. It's the best Christmas present I get every year. She's done that for 9 years running, so I have a big stack of scrapbooks at home. The whole family sits around that scrapbook at Christmas Eve. It's a very special moment for me and my family. Hopefully, also, with my boys growing up, they'll look at these scrapbooks and see that dad was all right playing football. Big up Norgard, man. I'd love for you to score, man. Nah. He's definitely not. Tom definitely isn't. Big up Tom. That's one of the realest in the game. I like Tom, man. DG, get Clive on when possible. We need education. I'll try, man. Arsenal does not platform the attackers other than Saka. And even that, is he really being platformed? When Real Madrid are winning champs, they didn't seem to play that well. It's like he's trying to do that without the Galactico quality, which there you have it, man. Arteta couldn't be clear in his presser. He has 4 months to win a major or he's out. I don't necessarily believe he's gone, though. DG got one tab for each time he's stripped for the ops. Hey, behave yourself with the shipping thing. Yaz, behave yourself. Behave yourself, naughty bugger. What has Mikel Arteta said in his press conference, man? I just want to see the most important things, if I'm brutally honest. Bro, we know that he's not going to tell us the reaction's been bad. You've had enough time to reflect. That's why I encourage them to jump on this boat, because it's going to be fun, because the excitement, that conviction, that energy, that will is the way you have to live when you want to achieve a dream, when you want to achieve something that you played for 10 months, because out of that, a lot of incredible things are going to emerge. Some of the things that we cannot even imagine. And for me, that's the only way to live it, because we're going to give absolutely everything. We're going to prepare in the best possible way. And the best chance to deliver what we want is putting all that energy and challenging that energy into that direction. That's true. And it's going to sound mad. I don't want to lose, but there's been games we've lost where I've enjoyed. Like, how many games have we really enjoyed this season? Everything in Europe. Couple in the Newcastle, second half against City. See where I'm going with this? So Arteta, it's all fun and games saying that, and we're with you to the end, but man have to give us something back as well, you know. And again, I'm getting quite tired of saying the same things day in, day out. On if Saliba and Timber are available, no, those are not. I just think they're being rested. I don't know anything. I'm quite scared. No, it's because of the hectic schedule. So we played 4 away games in 4 different comps. It was a moment to pause and see who we are, what we are doing. And I said, okay, 4 months, how we want to actually live that. It's just beautiful what's ahead. So we're going to live with a lot of enjoyment. I'm very convinced, because this team and these players have given us every reason to believe that the outcome is going to be really good. On if it was always planned to have a meeting after the United game, yes, we do it every 3-4 weeks. That's great. On not having one player scoring many more goals than the rest, boy. Saka, let's get back to scoring. What you said on if the team needs to get more out of the attackers, we want those numbers to be higher. But as well, I think we are 3 goals away from the best team. So we're not that for, yeah, that's great. That's great. It is great. But we're lying to ourselves. This is the same thing we've been doing for a number of years. Arteta, I know you're just saying this in the public and different in private. But this is where I think fans go wrong. You know what? You don't hear must feel. So we are not that far. So the margins are still very small. We want to be the best in every stat, but it's very important that we can read the stats in a manner that is useful for us and especially for our players. That's great. I'll be real. I don't really care about none of this. What's this on if Odegaard could be stripped? No, the minutes he plays as well related because obviously he had 2 shoulder injuries. He was out for 6 weeks with a knee injury as well. We have the possibility to change games and the games maybe require something different. And every player is very important to be able to achieve that, which is true. So I am here for that, people. That's for tomorrow, really. What's that? That's nothing. We've gone over that. Big up Iffy, Ibrahim, and obviously King for signing new deals. Obviously, we've gone over Saliba and obviously, you know, Timber. They're not going to be available tomorrow. I don't necessarily think it's anything to worry about. No one don't care what Jamie Carragher's had to say about my football club, if I'm completely honest. Again, apparently Arsenal, Barcelona, PSG are all in the picture to sign Atletico Madrid's Julian Alvarez, as we keep hearing, who has 40 goals and 13 assists, of which 11 goals and 5 assists are from this season. Wingham, apparently we're the main favourites to sign the 25-year-old. And it's been made clear the Gunners are looking at him for the summer and not in the winter market. I mean, some of you might have wanted him now, but your dream, you know you're dream chasing, people. Apparently Odegaard is weighing up his long-term future at the club with Arteta's side open to offers for him. I'd be amazed if he doesn't sign a new deal. And I just think this is too coincidental. Fans are on him. He's linked with a move away. Yeah. I just don't think it should be that important at the moment unless we see something different. Bayern Munich and Inter are monitoring the situation. Oh, man. David Ornstein, you've given this IndyCar guy the amount of clout to say the most, man. Ain't no one taking that in. There is a clear agenda that people push that Arteta changed his style and we can go back to it. We cannot go back to it. Sadly, teams simply bulk down and wait. How many tabs does DG have? Not enough, my friend. DG, let the rivals have their day, as they always say to us. Do I argue when you can simply just wait? Bro, if we beat them, we talk shit. If they beat us, chat their shit. I'm saying this. Who cares what they think, bro? Who cares? Who cares? There's a lot of people that live their life for validations of others. They don't care. If we died today, we're all part of this thing. Everything cast. If we died today, these are gonna look after our mums. Are they gonna put food in our kids? Not that I got kids in your kids' belly and that. Fuck them. No one's getting better under this coach. It's over, my guy. We're here to the end, man. We're to the end. We're to the end. I did not say I don't care about winning, bro. Could never question my mentality. I never said that. DJ, I can get you a discounted silverware from John Lewis pickup. Because some of you want to have your cake and eat it. When we win and do well, man want to waffle. And when we lose, people don't want to hold stuff, man. Some of you are soft, and that's all right, man. Time to experiment. What do you mean it's not the time to experiment? You could argue it's the perfect time to experiment. What else could you do? You can't play Rice. You can't play Marino. Zubi probably needs to come out the firing line. Odegaard's going to probably have to be played. Arteta could be lying, but there's no Saliba. There's no Timber. You could get him there with a Gabriel and then shift the pack around a bit. Bro, you're through. I'm not being funny. You're through. What moment? Even if you like, what momentum are you going to get from Kairat? Obviously, you want to win games. It helps you. But what are you going to get from Kairat? Seriously. Apart from, it's always nice to get a win straight after losing. What are you going to get from there? Obviously, the papers. We lost to Man United. Oh my God, we lost to Kairat. There's papers in the crap. What are you going to get? What if you cannot rest and be a bit cute and clever now? You never can be. Because FYI, it's only going to get worse. You know you have to travel up to Leeds. I'm sure you know the games you've got. We're finding too much excuses. And don't get twisted. I have not sat here and said Kairat is easy because they should be fearless. I actually want to see that they bought, well, Chelsea bought, and he's there until he's 18 or something like that. But DJ, if I could, I would personally drop you inside the players' change rooms to talk to the team to motivate them. You sound a lot better than the photographer from All or Nothing. No, man, don't say that. And he's good. They don't need more motivation. You've got all your motivation. You've got all the motivation. It depends what you want to use. Do you want to use, your family? Do you want to use the manager? Do you want to use your comrades and brothers in arms? Me personally, if I was in the Arsenal team, the one thing that would drive me is the pain of the past. It's like everyone's been broke. Everybody's scarred about being broke. So from footballing terms, I'm scarred about sitting and being how I felt in that change room in any point when we went out of any competitions in the last 3 years. I don't want that to be the case this year. And you lot hear me say it all the time. If we lose, it's cool. but make it be you've left everything out there. And I think too many times when we've dropped points, there's still that element of regret from my boys. I'm only saying this from a place of love. I don't know about no one else. I don't get nothing out of criticizing my players, saying this, that, and the other than it's because I want their best. And I think there's a lot of people that are not honest. If you're bringing all this negative bullshit to me about my club, you're a liar. If you're making everything positive, you're a liar. The truth's in the middle. You can interpret whatever way you want and do what you want. Every man and this woman is free to do their thing, man. Big up Tony Adams. But end of the day, Odegaard's the captain, innit? Whether I like it or not, the man's the captain. End of the day, if Odegaard just starts putting in some performances, it's not that people won't question his captaincy. Nobody cares. When you start bouncing around and doing the Odegaard stuff, nobody don't care. Nobody don't care. It sounds great. It sounds great. Oh, this one needs to be the cat. What magical powers are man going to get? Because man like to say there's going to be pressure for all. There's pressure on all spaces at this football club. No one's safe. The dynamics have shifted. This is a massive football club. Cool, you take the captain off Odegaard, the captain band off Odegaard. What's going to happen? For me, Odegaard, I would say to you, as someone who likes you, you know, and someone that likes everyone in this team, when they go and get stuff, why are you always pulled off? Why are you always pulled off? Pattern up. You're all big enough, old enough, and ugly enough, you know. Simple as that. Calafiori needs minutes. Be lovely, man. And Liverpool, shout out, man. Marcel, what Liverpool fans have... Onslaught has done a number on you lot because I've seen you lot just sucking off Man United now. What's going on? I'm seeing Liverpool linking up with United. I'm seeing City United fans doing a City United. Whatever you say about my club, corner boys in the building, A's up to we freeze up. We don't do link ups. Cool, we took an L, we lost. Laugh it up because that's the worst that we're going to be. I'm still going to be here puffing out chest. Yeah, make sure we don't win anything in May because I've turned into a villain this season. And if you think that there's many gears to go up, anyone that was in my mentions and doing the ha-ha thing, I've bookmarked it. So I'll have my day in the sun. And I wouldn't say this unless I believed it. Where's Mascara? Oh, hey, Mascara, I forgot about you, you know. Sorry, Marley. I completely forgot Mascara. You can't blame me, man. Can anyone keep up with half the players? I'm sorry, then. I can't lie. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to give up my Mascara right back experiment, you know. Sorry, Marley. There's minutes there. All right, yeah. Forgot about Mascara still. Forgot about Mascara, but then again, how fit are these? No, Mascara could do that. Forgot about him. You can't blame me, lad. You can't blame me. But yeah, on that note, though, man, we've already ran over time. I appreciate you lot tuned in. Your boy's busy. Tomorrow we're back for watch along settings. There's always videos and whatnot, so make sure you're having the butchers. On that note, one love. Always like